Good morning. So I look like a hot mess because I'm about to do my workout, and like, what's the point of doing your hair before you're gonna do your workout? There just isn't one. So, yesterday I couldn't go live for some reason, so I wasn't able to hop on, and then it wouldn't let me upload a video. It was annoying. So I am here with my Grow With Me Tuesday on Wednesday, but that's okay. It's fine. I will preface this with, this is what the book is called. So there is some profanity in it, but it's one of my favorite books. It's one of the best things ever. So I want to read you guys a little piece of this because I think that it is really, really helpful. And like I've said before, this journey isn't just about, our weight loss or our fitness or our nutrition. It's about our overall health. And I'm a huge advocate for mental health and focusing on how do you feel like inside your head and how are your emotions and what is going on. Like those things are super, super important. So, reading personal development, listening to personal development, listening to motivational videos. Hey, Hev. Oh my gosh, it's because you're like way early in the morning. Oh my gosh. But I don't know what I was saying now. Anyway, so it's really important to take time to just dive into your mental health, your emotional health, because that's ultimately what's going to end up affecting the rest of your health, because it's really a mind game. You have to be mentally strong to get through all kinds of things. And if you have a big weight loss goal, or if you are an emotional eater, or if you struggle with any number of things, like there's really no person that can't benefit from personal development. It's going to better your life, and it's going to make your journey easier and your journey better. So I hope that at least me popping in here once or twice a week to share with you guys some of my own personal development, things that like really help me, it'll help you guys. So story time. Again, there is profanity within this book. So just a forewarning, if you have children, if they are around, just letting you know. Okay. So it says, stop blaming luck, stop blaming other people, stop pointing to outside influences or circumstances. That's like the main quote that's like on the thing. And if you follow me on Instagram, I often share those. When I was reading this book through its entirety, I share those little like quotes throughout. So you have the life you're willing to put up with. Think about it. What are the problems, those heinous dark shadows currently spoiling the warmth and happiness of your otherwise blissful life? Do you hate your job? Are you in a bad relationship? Is there something wrong with your health? Fine, get a new job, end the relationship, change your diet and exercise, or locate the kind of help you need. Seems simple, doesn't it? Even when it comes to the things you seemingly had no say in, like the death of a loved one or losing your business, you have a massive say in the ways you live your life in the aftermath of those events. If you're not willing to take the actions to change your situation, in other words, if you're willing to put up with your situation, then whether you like it or not, that is the life you have chosen. Before you think, or start to get your knickers in a twist, let me say one more thing. By defending your circumstances as they are right now, you are actually making a case for being where you are. Give it up. No buts. You can't afford them. There's excess baggage on a trip that requires you to travel light. Circumstances don't make the man. They only reveal him to himself. The true measure of who you are won't be found in your circumstances, but rather the way in which you respond to them. To start with this new process, you must first stop another one. Stop blaming luck, stop blaming other people, stop pointing to outside influences or circumstances, stop blaming your childhood or neighborhood. This approach is fundamental to everything that I talk about in these pages. You cannot, I repeat, cannot dwell in any blame game in your life. Even blaming yourself is completely useless. Of course, you'll face situations that you seemingly can't control. You may even face tragic circumstances like disability, disease, or the death of a loved one. but there is always something you can do to impact those circumstances, even if you've had them for years and still can't see a way. But first, you must be willing. To fully embrace my approach, you must first accept that while there are things that have happened in your life that you had no say in, you are 100% responsible for what you do with your life in the aftermath of those events. Always, every time, no excuses. The dictionary describes willingness as the quality or state of being prepared, readiness. In other words, willingness is a state in which we can engage with life and see a situation from a new perspective. It starts with you and ends with you. No one can make you willing, and you cannot move forward until you really are willing to make the next move. When you really are finally willing, you can literally experience that willingness, that innate freedom that courses through your veins. And similarly, when you are not, the kind of primordial stuckness that halts and presses down on you like some invisible weight on your chest. Believe me, I hear you. I am willing, but every time you add the but to the end of that statement, you turn yourself into the victim. In many years as a coach and mentor, I have heard as many complex life situations as there are, from the darkest of past to the weight and gravity of the present or crippling fear of the future. I have heard them over and over and over again. You have to hear what I'm saying in the way that it's intended. I'm not saying these things to inflame you. Well, maybe I am, but the intention is to inflame you to your own potential, to make you realize your own greatness, not to just piss you off. Take the case. Imagine for a moment that willingness is missing in your life. Not some wispy, sheepish willingness, but rather a bold willingness, the kind of willing state where you are ready for what's next and ready to act on it. Willingness to change, willingness to let go, willingness to accept, real, magical, inspired willingness. So it says, finding the door. Fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant. Either you control your destiny or your destiny will control you. Life won't stop for your pauses and procrastinations. It won't stop for your confusion or fear. It will continue right along with you. Whether you play an active part or not, the show will go on. That's why one of my first personal assertions I teach to my clients is, I am willing. Before you can say that to yourself honestly, you must first ask yourself the question, am I willing? That question demands an answer. It can't just be left there in the nothingness of the universe. Am I willing? It pulls for a response. Am I willing? Its power is irresistible. I cannot escape its press for truth. Am I willing to go to the gym? Am I willing to work on that project I've been putting off? Am I willing to face my social fears? Am I willing to ask for a raise or quit this shitty job? In short, are you willing to stop living the life you have and start living the life you're after? It all begins with the emergence of willingness, that liquid, constantly expanding and contracting state where life springs and seeds. All of it is within you at the flick of a linguistic switch. We often view ourselves as procrastinators or lazy or unmotivated, when in reality we're simply unwilling. We put things off or avoid them completely because we tell ourselves we just don't want to do it or that we can't do it. Instead of viewing this behavior as a character flaw, let's create a sense of willingness where there is apparently none. A spark of potential, if you like. You are a master generator of this state of openness and potential. Once upon a time in your life, this state was easy to access. Enlivened by the vigor of youth or the curiosity of childhood, somehow over the years we lost touch with the magical state. The famous philosopher and political scientist Nicola something or other, some really long name, once said, where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. Consider that for a second. It does not matter what you're facing in life, which obstacle you're trying to overcome. If you're willing to generate that state of willingness, that's your doorway to making the effort, taking the steps, dealing with the setbacks, and ultimately creating the progress and change in your life that you're seeking. That's why such a simple statement, I am willing, is so profound. You become enlivened and empowered by its promise, open to its allure. I ask again, are you willing? So I'm gonna stop there because the chapter is like kind of long. But for anybody that wants to read this book, this was called, I know it's backwards probably, but it's called Unfuck Yourself, Get Out of Your Head and Get Into Your Life by Gary John Bishop. It is amazing. It literally is like calling you out on your shit every day. So my best suggestion is to like read 10 pages a day of personal development or listen just like on YouTube, like motivational videos or personal development videos. Like you don't have to invest money in buying a book if you don't want to. You don't have, if you're not a reader, you don't have to do that. But you could, like, while you're doing the laundry or the dishes or driving to work, you could put on some personal development to help change the dialogue in your head. Okay, so we speak to ourselves. Sounds crazy, but it's true. Over like, I don't know what it was, like 50,000 times a day. Yes, TED Talks are amazing. But yeah, we have like 50,000 some odd thoughts in our own heads every single day. Okay, we're constantly having an inner dialogue all the time. And if that inner dialogue is negative, if it's telling us I'm not willing, or I can't do this, or this is too hard, or whatever, fill in the blank of like whatever your inner dialogue is, that's going to hold you back. And that inner dialogue comes from years and years and years of feeling a certain way, or being told a certain thing, or establishing a certain outlook. And that's going to take time to break. But over time, you can break that down. And you do that by switching it with, I am willing, I can do this, I am strong. You know, your affirmations, things that are going to switch your life and change the way that you're viewing it. Like he said, you know, it doesn't matter what your life is like right now. You can choose if you're willing to change it or if you're willing to accept it. Either way, it's your choice. And that's something that's really important and really empowering, because it's not about, like he said, it's not about, you know, you don't have control over if a loved one dies, or my cat's butt, like that's cute addition to the video. But you don't have control over losing your job, or if a loved one dies, or if, you know, something happens out of your control. That's life. Things happen out of our control. But what we do have control over is how we deal with it afterwards, how we make our decisions, how we live our life, how we speak to ourselves, how we take care of ourselves. Those are all things that are within our own power, and they're really important to take control over. Hey, babe. Yeah, I got one. I don't know where one is. You want to come say hi?
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure. You're wearing my high heels. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
But in the end, we all have a decision to make, and we can't be mad at... Girls, you need to share with her. We can't be mad at the situation that we're in if we're not willing to change it. You know what I mean? Like, we can't get mad that things are like staying the same if we're not willing to do anything about it. You know what I mean? Like, we can't keep saying, oh, I'm going to start on Monday, or I'm going to give it my all tomorrow, or whatever, if we're not actually going to do it, and then get mad that that's the situation that we're in. We're in it because we chose to be in it. We're in it because those are our habits. But you can break them, and they're going to take time, and it's going to be uncomfortable. But you have to start with, I am willing. And you're willing to change. You're willing to ask for help. You're willing to do whatever it takes. And that's where you're going to see the snowball effect of change. And you're going to feel better, and you're going to live happier, and you're going to start to, you know, engulf yourself in this life where you can push forward and you start to live the life that you're after, and not be stuck in the life that you're in. So if you're unhappy, try taking on some of those tips and tricks. Personal development will make a huge difference. But I'm going to let you guys go, because it is time for me to throw on some music and do my workout, which I'm not looking forward to. But gonna get it done, half an hour, I can do that. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.